if you want to go ahead and move over, so
get into shot. Yeah.
just so we get into the camera.
Alrighty.
Okay, so just for everyone that's at home, this is Ben. What's your last name, Ben?
Robinson.
Robinson?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, he is one of the ship creators for Eagle Moss, building all the ships.
All the ships. It
Or
feels
most of
that
the
way.
ships?
Yeah.
At least most of them, anyways.
Yeah, we've done like 100. I think trying to count up. I have actually lost count, but 160, 170 ships.
And more on the way, obviously.
There are more on the way, indeed.
I think Star Trek Online has like 200 some ships.
That's a whole other ball game for us. I mean, that could well happen, but it's we got 170 ships. I think we've just done 2 that have only appeared in Star Trek Online or in the novels.
Yeah.
The third one on the way.
Well, there's a lot of them that you have there that Star Trek has, or Star Trek Online has, but that was because they're basic generic ships. To give you credit, you know.
No, I mean, we started out very much focused on doing the canon ships, things that were on TV, in a movie, and when we started, we thought that would be all that anyone would ever want.
Yep.
Now we've discovered, there
People
are
want
big
more.
communities for more, yeah.
And you got probably people that's asking for more of the alien non-Federation ships too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the biggest focus for most people is Federation ships, is Starfleet ships. We have pretty much exhausted the available Federation Starfleet ships from
So now you're making your own?
TV shows. No, we're not making our own. We don't do that. We're making the really obscure ones.
I know you started going in. One thing I did see over there that you started going into some other series and getting ships from other stuff.
We like our ships. So we've done a series of Battlestar Galactica ships, which obviously we feel is like a cousin of Star Trek's.
It really is.
And we did a line of aliens, Predator figurines, which we also do ships for.
Yep. Now, so just out of curiosity, what goes into the process of making these ships?
So where we can, we start with the original visual effects model that was used on the show. Do our best to track those down. I'm pretty good at that. I know a lot of people.
And I'm sure CBS probably helps out with
they help out when they can, but they don't have those models. So the visual effects models, the digital files, they no longer hold.
That's what
they never got archived.
Yeah,
from when people were working
basically
on the
the original creators that would have stuff like that.
Yeah, there are people who have them, perhaps shouldn't have them, but they do. So where we can, we get those models. And then we send them to our factory, who convert them into a format that can be turned into a piece of die cast and make a tool to make a ship.
Now, do you do any sort of just temporary sets, like a 3D print to see how it's going to look?
They then send us like a 3D version of it, which they've altered subtly in order to make sure it's something they can actually make. Mm-hmm. And then when we've approved that, they then send us like a kind of 3D printed one.
Yeah, because I know 3D printing is huge in a lot of different molding industries. Just kind of get a basic idea of what it's going to look like.
For us, it's really just about the size. I mean, we're pretty experienced now, having done as many as we have, about what they're going to look like.
Large,
yeah, but sometimes you expect something out to be a certain length, a certain number of inches, and it's wider or it's narrower or it's come out, we made a mistake, just transposed a number or something.
Yep.
So it's always good to actually just see something at that size. But 3D printing's much, it's not what people imagine.
It's really rough. I have a 3D printer that I've used in the past, so I don't know what it's like. And it's very rough. Even if you get it pretty good, you can still see
there's a lot of work still to be done at that point.
Yep.
So they then use that 3D, that after we've signed off on it on the size, they then make the tools to create it.
So you get the die-cast model, so it's a lot. Because what you guys have, those are very solid. Those are not like...
Yeah, so the largest part is always made of metal, and then it has some other parts that are made of resin. That's largely because at that kind of scale, if you try to put two pieces of metal next to one another, the joints are going to be really clunky and really visible.
That's one thing I noticed, especially like on many of the ships that have all these little fine details. You get these little flaps, and it's very easy, even now with them, to bend and and break off or something like that.
Yeah, and there are appropriate materials for each thing, really. That's what it comes down to.
So, you guys are starting to get on in building Star Trek Online ships. Is there any that you are able to tell us about that is coming out in the near future?
Well, at the moment, the only one we've committed to that is basically from Star Trek Online is the Enterprise F.
Okay.
That will be out next year.
I know someone that's part of our crew that loves the Enterprise F ship.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people do. I think it's something we have a lot of hopes for. We did the Aventine, and we did the Titan, and both of those obviously are non-canon ships, or at least not strictly canon.
It's not strictly Star Trek. It came from the Star Trek Online world.
Exactly. So we did those, and they both did pretty well. So I think we're much more relaxed about doing that kind of thing now.
Yeah. Well, it's a huge risk for you guys to do ships that are not technically canon.
Yeah, there's a lot of investment in making these things, and if you only wanted one, it would cost you an awful lot of money.
Yeah, I know there's one ship that I would love to have, and it's a Romulan ship. It's the Scimitar.
And there's well, I'd love to do the Scimitar too. There are some issues with that. The visual effects models from Nemesis weren't all archived away. They'd be particularly hard to track down, and there are some issues. Even if I found them, I'm not sure how easily we'd be able to open them. So, it's a.
So maybe in the future, if you figure
we will do it. We will do it. It's just a question of whether we have to completely reconstruct that CG model ourselves, which we can do. But it's obviously, it's a thing.
It's one of those things. I want to thank you, Ben, for coming over and sitting down with us. I hope we can get down to a point where we do business with you guys, like with our podcast and such. So I got to talk to people over there. I got someone else that's waiting to sit down with us as well.
Great.
One of the guys from Star Trek Online. So.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
But thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for that.